hope you can hear the music. That's always the hope. Always the hope. So I hope you can. Either way. Vigilante Williamson here on the 60th episode of my show, the Vigilante Williamson Show. Good morning, West Moody. You seem to be the only one here. But on this show, which is Father's Day, Sunday, June 20th. I hope everyone's having a happy Father's Day. Regardless of what your father's situation was or whether you have kids, just hope you're having a good, you're having a good day. That's what's important here on the Vigilante Williamson channel. I'm actually having, I'll be honest, a little bit of a rough day waking up. That's an original song. That's an original song I just did. So it's not from GTA 6. It's an original beat. Is GTA 6 out? I thought they were at GTA 5 and they've been at that for like a decade. Unless they stole it. They could have stolen it. They could have been using it for almost a year. I've been at this YouTube thing for almost a year. 4, not 6. And no, again, it wouldn't be for 4 because, again, I did it. I made it. And it was just a beat I made. It wasn't like, oh, this sounds like this. It was just something I did. But no worries, Wes. I appreciate you being here. And Wes, thank you, man. You've been a huge part of the last year of my life, man. Especially, the past 7 or 8 months or whatever it was. When I kind of started to link up with people. You were one of the first people I kind of linked up with in the fandom. You helped me. You helped introduce me to a lot of other people like Tom and Comics Division, and that led to me doing a lot of shows with Comics Division and that helping the sub count up. So thank you, Wes. I appreciate you just having to show up. And I am at 500 subs, and this is the 60th episode. So let's see if we can make it to 1,000 by 100. I don't know that we will. I think that's a really lofty goal. I'm experimenting with the algorithm, trying to do different things because I saw a channel literally go from where my channel was to 5.5K or thereabout in less than a week by just posting nonstop, very, very short clips that they didn't label as shorts. So I think they exposed a TikTokification of the YouTube algorithm. So I'm going to try to explore it. Speaking of which, I'm doing pretty well at TikTok. Let me see if I can bring that up. I know everyone doesn't have a TikTok, but I'm like this. If you're going to have a Twitter, you got to actually choose a real mainstream platform, whether you like it or not. So it's either Facebook, it's either Instagram or TikTok, because you need actual people. Because Twitter is not a real platform. I know these idiots use it as like a gauge, and there's a lot of people that we know and love that are on Twitter. It's cool for the people who are on it with communicating, but for like actually getting new people is not good. But you know what? The CCP got it right with. Oh no, I'm at an evil amount of views in my Robert Meyer Burnett video, or one of them. But look at the view count I get from just 5 posts. Hopefully I don't show anything behind the scenes. But look at the view count I get from just 5 posts. 500, 486. Evil number. 161, 159. So these are just from the TikTok numbers. TikTok is say what you will about the damn platform, but I'm growing like a damn weed over there. So I gotta, or at least for views. I only got 6 followers. But again, they push your stuff a lot more than what YouTube has, just naturally, as far as so what do you do? And thank you, man. You say you deserve it too. You deserve to be at like 100K, but I think both of our channels get the kibosh as far as suppression. I've lost everyone's losing subs now, but it's been happening for a while. And I don't think everyone's getting the algorithm to this or the notification for this very live stream. Because it doesn't seem like, that's why I have to post it on the shitter and on the minds to try to get people to watch. But yeah, this past year has been pretty cool. What's been able to happen with this channel has been pretty cool. We'll see if it goes further. There's no guarantees, especially with this algorithm. And like I said, there's a channel that in a week got 5K. I saw another channel that's been around as long as I have, and is already at 32K and has, so I have a lot to learn still. I have a lot to learn about being a YouTuber and making content. And back to what I was saying earlier, I'm a little somber, man. The past 2 weeks, I've been in between jobs intentionally. I had a new job starting off, and I haven't really. I had all these plans, and due to a lot of bullshit, I really wasn't able to get through anything. And I'm finally right. Like my leg has been killing me for 2 weeks. I've been basically hard for me to walk. The Vigilante mobile was down, and it just all sorts of little crap. And there's still other crap with the job situation where I fucked around and I applied to 2 jobs that are literally in the same parking lot. And I'm waiting to hear back from one, but I don't want to skip out on the other one. I'm waiting to hear back. So now I got this awkwardness Tuesday from when I go in and try to hide from another job, at a job I don't want, which neither job I want because there's another job outside of that. So I really messed up this whole job search thing and going in between jobs. So I'm in a really weird place right now. But hey, it's blessed. You know, a lot of people do not have jobs right now. So it's a blessing to have if it all works out. I just hope it doesn't work out with me, not having anything. So I hope I didn't screw the pooch with that. But we will see. So those are just the things ailing the man behind the mask. I actually, one of the reasons you're not seeing me on camera, I took down all the toys and things that I have usually in my studio to try to make it more of a vocal studio and add like covers and stuff like that to kind of bring the audio proofing or sound proofing for like recording. And it came to no, I didn't really record much. Like I said, I haven't really been able to walk and stand normally until like today. Even yesterday was having issues. So it's been a rough 2 weeks, and it was supposed to be kind of a vacation, and it is not. It has been in some ways, but it's not in others. And in West York currently, right as I try to get back to my StreamYards, I've got so many damn windows open. We are definitely being suppressed big time, and that's the thing. That adds a little bit of melancholy. It's great to be at 500 subs, but I did get it artificially, and it is kind of hard to actually get a natural sub count with things like this. But you do what you can do, and no one's promised anything in this world, so you got to take what you can get. So I'm more than grateful for everybody. I'm grateful for Ogre Squasher, who's giving me over $1,000 in support in this past 6 months, which is insane to me. He owes me nothing. And you guys have all given hundreds and hundreds of dollars of support collectively. Anyone who's watching the replay, or I may clip it out because I'm going to be doing a lot more clips. I'm going to be doing a lot more. I'm going to try to tickle the algorithm a little bit. And I'm going to go with shorter clips because that way there's a double-edged benefit, really. It takes a lot less time to do, and I think they're easier to digest in these hour streams. So I really appreciate everybody. I really appreciate everything. I do want to do something special for 500 subs. I'm not sure what, to be honest. But I'm really just thank you everybody who's ever been here, whoever liked the video, who's like ever shared a video, who's ever done anything. Thank you. And actually, the channel I was thinking of, been around the same time I have as far as uploading videos. It's a channel called Text. Let me see if I'll bring it up. A channel called Text that has 94 videos. 94 videos, 31K. They've cracked the algorithm. This isn't the channel I'm talking about. 91 videos, 31K. Text YouTube. And shout out to this person, right? But they've been around, around a year ago, making videos, and they've been able to get 94 to 31K. And I have over 200 videos and live streams on this channel, and I'm nowhere near that. So they did something right. Let me see if I can find the other channel that I was referring to that grew over this past week. And then we'll get into it. We have a lot to talk about, actually. Let's talk about Portland police. We have to talk about the shipping of Falcon and Winter Soldier and a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of kind of hot button topics to speak about. But beforehand, and hopefully give time for people to actually show up. But here's this, they're almost at 6K. And it is wrestling oriented. This Henderson Variety. Look at all these videos. Most of them are in the past week. These are short videos, 20 seconds or less, sometimes a little more. And they're wrestling oriented. So there is that built-in audience of people who are looking for this content, and they just show little clips, highlights. And I mean, see, there was nothing on this channel. Look at this. Who knows what all this stuff was? Wasn't really doing well until, they did have this blip 3 weeks ago. And then they say, you know what, I'm going to make a lot of content like this. And when they decide to do that, and they're putting way more than 5 videos a day, they're putting dozens and dozens of videos a day, but they're really, really small. They're not listed as shorts. And the channel has grown within a week from like 400 some odd subs to 5,700. So these are just I know this is inside baseball to open up, but this is the stuff that I've been looking at. And then we also have our own Nerdporial life form who's grown pretty quickly as well with very, very good content. So I'm going to try to make some more long form content. I'm going to try to make some more shorter content. I'm just going to try to attack the algorithm and really be creative with the content coming out. We'll still do the live streams though. We'll still do the live streams in May. I think the live streams will actually be a good ground to get a lot of content for. Let's see what Wes was saying. I'm sorry to ignore you, brother. I just wanted to get into all my points for that. Of course, we are being suppressed. Porn parody works for Wes. There you go. Smash the algorithm. Something my nerd that says sentient dildo. Hell, sentient dildo. Buzz. But he's already buzzing in the chat. There's a guy started same time as me, has 100K. He reviews country music. I hate country music. Yeah, you have to tie yourself to some other some form of content. And so that's why I gotta, I'm doing the news stuff and everything, but I gotta do more stuff. Sentient dildo, what's up? Do makeup tutorials, you're gonna blow. I don't think makeup tutorials are the ones for me. What up, says Brightest Day. Hell, Brightest Day. I was talking about some of my laments of YouTubing in Brightest Day's chat. Yeah, but I'm a bit melancholy for 500. I'm very proud. I'm very grateful for everyone who's helped me along the way. Culture, Paulie, Sweetcast being the first thing that I ever was on outside of me. Obviously Gary, who's plugged my stuff a lot and has been a huge help. Comics Vision, who's been a huge help, and Tom Midnight Sage, Robert Meyer Burnett, who was just on the channel the other day, which is a huge thing. So it's not like this is not without some growth, without seeing growth. I mean, a year ago I couldn't imagine having somebody like that on my channel, and I did. It was kind of haphazard, but it's how it happened. Like I say haphazard, I mean it was just like everything aligned. It's one of the few things that aligned perfectly the past 2 weeks was getting Robert Meyer Burnett on the show. So that was pretty good. And your 5 minutes videos seem to tickle the algorithm. So if you notice with the R&B clips I just released yesterday, and there will be more coming today, a lot of them are short. So hopefully, I know Echo Base saw it. So I apologize for all the inside baseball. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Hail Parrot Head. Shout out to all the fathers. Shout out to all the dads. I'm not sure if there's dads in the chat, but shout out to you. You guys are raised. Dads are the most important thing going right now because they're rarer than ever. Single mother thing is getting worse. It used to be a black and brown thing can you believe in the black community 60, 70 years ago, it was 20% of the children are born out of wedlock. Now something like 80%. I think it's 50% overall for the country. So it's not like it's not a black and brown problem. This is a normalization of single motherhood. We have single mothers are embracing it. They're thinking, we have an evil class of women who's looking at their children as checks now, and lots of them, and they're taking their fathers out of the home, and it's hurting society. So fathers have never been more valuable than now. As many people have maybe negative images of their fathers and maybe legitimate negative experiences, and hopefully you at least had some, because I never met my father. That's someone that was really saying the thing. I've never met my birth father ever. And yes, the government absolutely social engineered in every way, from down to the pop culture, down to the government programs that encouraged it. And now it is no longer a poor thing. It is no longer a certain race thing. It is an American, it's a Western problem. and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. It's only going to get worse. And again, less men are actually being responsible. So like these, I'm not trying to bash them, I'm just being real. These women are going with the same type of guys. And I mean, a lot of the time they're looking for losers so they can just have the kid outright. So it's a lot of evil going on. And yes, it was completely society engineered. What's serendipitous you mean? I'm not sure about that. Not sure what's going on. Ducks, goose, French fries, and kings. I'm lost. I'm lost, parrot head. Speaking of loss, let's actually get into some of the topics. I've been rambling, trying to get people to kind of show up. Let's start to get into the topics because it is Sunday morning. It's Father's Day. I know a lot of people are actually going to be, out with their father or their dad themselves and are out with their kids and stuff. So I get that we're probably not going to get the most populated show. But I thank anyone who watches this now or the playback or any of the clips. Let's get into this. Amazon Studios. Oh, the Lord of Waterfowl. Is that what that is? I see. And that's for West, the Waterfowl King. I get it. All right. Amazon Studios, the studio behind Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time. What the hell is Wheel of Time? I feel like I know what that is, but don't know. They announced their new inclusion policy. And I love to use the boys as a setup because Amazon offers that. So the production studio behind the upcoming Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time TV series announced a new inclusion policy. In a press release announcing the inclusion policy, Amazon detailed that this policy extends its commitment to diversity and inclusion and equity, this damn demonic word that they're tossing out there for their Satan worship. I mean, Marxism, which may be the same thing. For its content and productions, along with the inclusion policy, they rolled out a new playbook to strengthen ongoing commitment to diverse, equitable representation. And I'll talk about Amazon's representation in a minute. According to Amazon, the policy and playbook offer detailed, actionable recommendations as Amazon Studios continues to seek out stories and storytelling that amplify voices across race, ethnicity, national, sexual orientation, age, religion, disability, including mental health, body size, gender identity, gender expressions for the global Prime Video audience. So they're trying to crash Prime Video. Here's the thing about Prime Video. Prime Video doesn't fucking matter. I have Amazon Prime and I rarely watch video. Rarely do. Rarely. Include me, daddy. Oh, Lord. I don't know what Cinch Dildo's on about. And yes, equity. Whoa, buzz from West. So, yeah. Man in the High Castle, which is ironic because that's where they're headed with a lot of media. Burning it all. Equity, inclusion, Latasha Gillespie. Goodness. The idea that you can be the head of equity and inclusion. You're the person who's approved to talk about race. You're the person that's approved. That's the thing. As a black man, I cannot just speak about race, freely. I cannot just talk about what I think. I don't have a degree. I don't have a title. I'm not the head of diversity, of equity and inclusion like Latasha Gillespie or a lot of these other. Remember the BBC head of diversity who said Luther didn't eat enough Caribbean food to be black enough? These racist motherfuckers, these evil motherfuckers, and we'll get into some intraracial racism a little later. But just the idea that these titles are now becoming more prevalent, it's just disgusting. And it is coming for a theater near you, so to speak. It is going to be in your corporation or your job, equity and inclusion leader, and they're going to destroy your company because that's what their job is. It's going to be a complete buddy network because they can only hire the right type of diverse people, the right thinking diverse people. But let's get into what this demon said. She stated Amazon Studios have long prioritized telling innovative and inclusive stories from a diverse range of creative talent, delighting our global audiences. All right. She added, we want to move beyond good intentions. We're creating the mechanisms that hold us accountable to a high bar. This inclusion policy and includes playbook adds important additional depth and guidance for our internal teams and internal partners to ensure we continue to advance our shared mission of amplifying the best creatives and content around the world. Wait. You got to pick one. If you're going to go equity, you're not saying the best creatives and content around the world. You're saying the best creatives and content that fit what you're doing. That's not the same thing. Okay. Amazon Studios head Jennifer Salke also commented with the establishment of our inclusion policy and inclusion playbook. Amazon Studios have committed to itself to being a thought and action leader to the transformation in our industry. Oh my God. Jesus. Salke added, we know there's much work to do to improve representation both on camera and behind the scenes. It starts home with us with clear directives and commitment to accountability. These guys provide a path towards a more equitable future on and off camera. I think this is the expense. Yeah, it's the expense, which is apparently fairly diverse. A lot of people like. Specifically, the inclusion thought leader. What? Because they want to lead your thoughts. They tell you how to think. They will lead your thoughts. Specifically, the inclusion policy covers 4 primary areas: developing stories and characters, hiring and production, reporting and documentation, and meeting goals. But real quick, the ads are best messing with me. So we're gonna go VPN and switch the ads up. And then you might have a weird thing happen with the stream, but we're done with the. Let's see, what country should I be from today, guys? What country am I gonna be from? I tried Belgium and got weird shit. Let's go to. I want to go to Taiwan. Go to Australia. See what the Australian ads are telling us. Botswana, yeah, could. Okay. Baby, come back. Please come back. I think the connection is. You might hear my computer. It sounds like it's about to take off. Okay, we're back. Let's get to it. Now we're in Australia, and actually, let me refresh the ads and see what they say for the Aussies. And I apologize. Thank you guys for bearing with me, man. You guys are the best. I don't care what anyone says about you. You're the best fans on YouTube. I don't care what everyone has said behind your back. You guys are awesome. No one said anything behind you guys' back, by the way. It's a joke. It's humor. Or an attempt at it. Oh, here we go. Optus. We're in Australia now, boys. Shout out to Lethal Lighting. So where the fuck were we? Okay. So specifically, the inclusion policy covers 4 primary areas. You said that. As for more specific goals, Amazon detailed that each film or series with the creative team of 3 or more people in above-line roles, director, writer, producer, should ideally include a minimum of 30% women and 30% of underrepresented racial ethnic group. The aspirational goal will increase to 50% by 2024. So here's all the evil with this line of thinking, and I'm going to try to break it down to the atom. When you firstly identify just gender off rip, women are underrepresented. So when you say underrepresented racial and ethnic groups, right? You mean non-white people. I think we're all in agreement with that, right? Because what else are you saying? You have to be excluding from one group to look from underrepresented racial ethnic groups. So you're okay. Cool. You want more non-whites. We're just all one. There's whites who are the king race, apparently, and then non-whites, and then 30% women. So you make 30% white women and then 30% others. So and then they want to increase for 50%, which means 100% non-white men. That's literally what they said, unless their math is, if you have a minimum of 30% women and 30% members, that's 60% of the staff is going to be non-white men. Not saying 100% of the staff should be white men, but you're not you're talking about directors, writers, and producers. Under no circumstances are you including talent in this equation. You're just saying their ethnicity and their given gender. So, and you're trying to literally this statement, unless Amazon math is bad, I don't think it is because they're pretty good with money. It's literally saying we don't want any white men in any of these positions by 2024, unless they don't mean an increase in both. But I'm lost. I'm going to read the statement again. Should ideally include a minimum of 30% women and 30% members of a underrepresented group. So if there's 3 people, one of them has to be a guy, somebody from a person of color, hashtag, and another person has to be a woman. And then eventually 100% has to be this because there's going to be a 50% on each. And there's only, I'm not sure, I know they're using Common Core math. I'm not sure if there's some extra percentage you can get out of it, but 50 plus 50 equals 100%. So this is inherently discriminatory. And again, is really the real nefarious thing in this is to just think of humans in this way in the first place. Like, how dare you underrate all the talent involved in trying to write, produce, and direct? And shouldn't you want the most talented people? And isn't it possible that you can still get a diverse representation by just looking for the most talented people? Look for the most talented woman. Look for the most talented people in a specific group or different groups. But for fuck's sake, why are you trying to exclude people? Look for the most talented people, regardless of their race, gender, whatever else, and put them together. Unless you're saying that women and underrepresented minorities are just not talented enough, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? And is this article still a little bit more? But I'll talk about my thoughts on Amazon as a company, having worked for them in a little bit. And I've mentioned it on this channel. For casting, they state casting actors whose identity, gender, whatever, aligns with the character they're playing. That's very problematic. We'll get into that a little bit later with In the Heights. It will be interesting if they actually follow through on this policy. The Wheel of Time will show, given they race swap most of them for the upcoming show. So they race swap most of those characters. Let's see what you guys. I'll see what you guys are saying later. You guys are chat starting to light up. It will be interesting to see if they recast Stormfront in The Boys as she was originally a male and portrayed by Aya Cash, the second season of the show. That was probably why they recast her. Let me see. They further elaborated on the casting policy. They aim to include one character from each categories with a minimum of 50% of women, LGBTQ people with disability, regionally. What the fuck is this? Like, this is the weirdest, sick part about this. They have declared white men to be superhuman gods and everyone else to be underdog losers. And they all have to gang up on white men. See, as an individual, I just can't believe any man to just be naturally superior to me. So I don't really buy this shit, which is why I don't feel like a victim. But what in the fuck is this? I never get used to this shit. I've read similar things from similar companies over a year, similar little equity and cultural Marxism shit, and I will never get used to this de-emphasizing of all the groups they champion. It'll never not piss me off because they show themselves to be the real racists, not just against the evil white man, but against the races they're champion. Because what it really becomes is a crony system. We saw that with the Whisper Network, all these white women who destroyed comics because a few horny assholes wanted to get a blowjob, and all of a sudden you have fucking Heather Antos as your editor. That's how it goes. And it was all representation for white women, only white women, just like the Huffington Post. But it's a mess. It's a mess, and it destroyed an industry. Not almost overnight. They were destroying themselves for other reasons, but it's disgusting. And again, it's all these other groups, you're lesser than, so let's push you up equitably. Right. These policies will also pertain to vendors, suppliers, and productions. Oh my God. Amazon states they will seek at least 3 bids from vendors and prior suppliers on productions. One of which must be from a woman-owned business or from minority-owned business. So white women will be all the suppliers in Hollywood. Finally, because they don't really like minorities, we'll get into that a little bit later. Because they minorities are just there as purse puppies. They don't like us at all. Finally, they will also state there will be pay equity across casting, behind the camera staff, and crew for vendors and suppliers. We'll see if that happened. I talked about R&B, right? The reason I actually got R&B on my channel is because last week I was on Midnight Edge After Dark with Paulie, and he talked about, and it was really Paulie who drove it home. The Selena Netflix show, which was immensely popular, even though it may have been flawed, they were paid significantly less than most of the Netflix shows, significantly less. So Netflix does all the inclusion stuff, and they were not equitable with pay across for their casting. They paid the minority, they paid the Latin, and we're not gonna call them Latinx. They paid the Latin and Hispanic cast members, and mostly Hispanic cast and crew. They paid them a lot less than they would have paid anything else going. So, that's just something that's happened at Netflix. We'll see what happened at Shamazon. In order to keep themselves accountable to these goals, Shamazon stated they will, and yes, I am calling them Shamazon because they're sham. Even though I use them, they're still sham. I can still criticize them. We'll provide a report template for each production to indicate whether or not these expectations were met. They will be submitted within 1 month of the completion of principal photography. As for the inclusion playbook, they state that it puts in place intentional practices to minimize and disrupt biases. Yeah, right. It creates more biases. It's based upon biases. It's based upon having biases against all these groups that you're championing, that they're just not fucking good enough. So you got to push them up. And anyone who dislikes any of the shit that they put out, because they can't just be people of specific groups. I don't think Eric July is going to get a call for any creative. They have to think like you do. That's really where it's evil. Even more evil. Not only do they have to be certain type of race, they have to have a certain type of mindset, or else they're going to be done. They continue. The playbook provides direction on how to make inclusive decisions while telling authentic stories and hiring the best people for the job. Knowledge of where to go for help, including the tools to make inclusive decisions, to identify criteria for making creative choices, leading to balanced and consistent informed decisions. Yeah, you're right. They're not going to be informed decisions. Ways to foster curiosity and ask to disrupt the status quo about how things are done. This is the new status quo. Jesus. Just how much is this? Okay, we're almost done with this shit. These demons. According to Amazon, policy was developed by racial academics Stacy Smith and Catherine Piper. How much you want to bet Stacy Smith and we got to look up. You guys are racial academics. How much you want to bet they're white women? And there's no disrespect to white women, but I'm sick of academic, champagne socialists, stinky 50, 60-year-old white women. Yep. Who get to tell everybody how black people should be treated. I'm sick of bitches like this having more impact on how I'm thought of than me. This bitch will impact how black people are talked about, how all races that are not white men are talked about in media. This bitch, these motherfuckers, these demons. Hopefully this is the right Stacy Smith. Let me actually make sure. I'm not fucking everything up. I think I got the right one. Yeah, I got the right dummy. Here's the confirmed. This is the representation. This woman shall tell everybody how black men will be treated in media for the next 50 years. This bitch. Never forget, feminism has hated the black man ever since Gloria Steinem got pumped and dumped by Jim Brown. Never forget, feminism is why every black child has a coin flip chance of existing and not being aborted. Bitches like this caused that fucking eugenics. And now they're going to cause cultural eugenics. Oh, fucking joy. And I can't say anything because I'm on the wrong side of history. I'm on the wrong side of history. This white woman went to college. She knows more about black people than I do. She went to college. So of course Amazon can hire her. Let's see this Catherine Piper. This she looks like she's had more chocolate in her than Hershey's, right? One and part of it is our fault because we like the chubby ones. We like the chubby ones. I'm keeping it real in 2021. And I still like the chubby ones. But look at this bitch. And I am gonna diss these hoes. Fuck these hoes. These are the demons. This is both of them together. And this soy motherfucker. Fuck all of you. Because you're the real racist. You're the face of white supremacy. It's not a motherfucker in a Klan hat anymore. It's a dumb, stank pussy white bitch. And I'm not trying to disrespect white women because it's not, or because it's stank pussy black bitches too. Stank pussy bitches are all racist. But it typically stank pussy fucking white woman, insecure. Look at this insecure ass smile because she's chubby. There's nothing wrong with chubby bitches. Probably had more chocolate in her than Hershey's. Probably had more chocolate than the Twix factory. And now she gets to tell Amazon how to treat black people in film. So this shows you how fucking genuine this is. Their diversity and inclusion directors aren't even diverse and inclusive. Isn't that a motherfucker? Let's see Brenda Robinson. This has a better chance of at least being black. Let's just check her out. And actually, I'm spoiling stories. Let me do this so you can't see. So yeah, the face of racism is a 40-year-old academic. A 40-year-old academic who knows better than you on black people. Okay, so she looks like a black girl, but she looks not gunshots. There was just fireworks. It probably was. International Documentary Association. Okay, I don't know who she is. She has an evil chin, but I'm not going to talk too much shit about her. I don't know shit about her, and it doesn't let she's an academic. And she's been a partner. I don't know what's gonna happen with this bitch. So this is Brandon Robinson, the token, the game token to validate the crazy white woman. They put a crazy. She got that I don't really smile. I'm really a bitch behind closed doors smile. But that's neither here nor there. She's the token that allows these dumb demons to tell us what to do about race. The token, not the token, but the token. All right. Based upon the Anberg Inclusive Initiative's Twitter feed, they appear to discriminate against white people viewing everything against skin color. Example, this is a tweet from when they responded to the documentary, Netflix music documentary, White Table, saying one too many white guys. Okay, that's dope. Again, we saw that this is a mostly white group. Amazon also consulted with lead organizations, visibility, including GLAAD, Illuminative. I'm going to go ahead and say that was probably a pun. A think tank for inclusion, equity, disability rights, and defense funds. So this is something CIA funded, no doubt. Or Council Foreign Relations funded, no doubt. Smith praised the policy. Frankly, the outcomes of the DEI work entertainment industry have not been sweeping or swift. And part of that can be attributed to disingenuous approaches to address the systemic barriers to the entry that have long plagued Hollywood. They are the systemic barriers. You're the ones who made these decisions. So, okay, that's pretty much it. So, I know the chat was pretty lit. This is really evil. This is really nefarious for a multitude of reasons. Hell, Morgan Holloway, I did see that you were actually going to take care of your fur baby. Shout out to the animals. Shout out to the animals in the house of Holloway. Shout out to, both the Holloway family. Because white boys are evil, says Central Dildo. They are racist. They do not want the best. They want stooges to prove a supremacy theory. Absolutely, a supremacist theory. Sup Morgan or Morgane or Morgani, I believe. There's another pronunciation. Everyone's saying it's up. Just got up. So happy that VW started streaming. I'm happy you guys are going to be here. And yes, since you did though, this you and me both. The fetishizing of minorities give me the creep. It is ethno fetishism is disgusting. This equity BS is ruining good stories. Absolutely. We are not going to get good stories out of this. And I'll talk a little bit about Amazon as a company, this equitable company, in a minute. Agreed, dildo. Yep. Happy Father's Day. You're right, Killy Child. Happy Father's Day, everyone. We're gonna keep saying that. Why women deserve all the disrespect? White women don't. I see. Why women? Yeah. Just like there's a difference between a lot of things. Why women and white women? Shout out to where are all the white women at? I mean, I know Morgan Holloway is here, but all the other white women. We like white women. We like women. We love women. We're not fans of women. Not fans of women. What's going on? A lot of bush is going on. I think these are fireworks. So I'm going to be dead. But Vig, eugenics is fine if it's academic. That's what they're saying. This is cultural eugenics. Make no mistake about that. This is cultural eugenics. We'll never, and by the way, we'll never get a Family Matters, which was an all-black cast. We'll never get a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all-black cast. Coming to America, all-black cast. These were major properties. We'll never, I mean, we got to Coming to America too. I'm talking about an original property. Something that is as good as the original Coming to America. Something that is as good as the original Family Matters. Something that is as good as the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We will never get stuff that good. And those are all black cast. And they'll never happen again. So this is cultural eugenics. Since you did saying something, Kelly, and respect is indeed earned. I almost disagree. I think the Klan is alive and well. They just instead of a hood, they have a degree. That's the new a gender studies degree is the new Klan hood nowadays. Since you dildo. Not much since it's up. Okay, people saying it's up. All right, got to be right back to take care of fur babies. Give them a break. Vids are just trying to help poor savages. They don't know any better. That is their logic. Their logic is, the poor non-whites, they're just too dumb, and we have to help them because of the racist white man. It's real evil shit. The show The Voice does it right. Gauge someone's talent without looking at them. I see. I never really watched The Voice, but that is a smart way. You got to listen. We go off The Voice first and then see it. That's pretty smooth. I like Max Guevara and Black Scorpion. I just don't like Ruby Rose's Batwoman. Let's see. I actually do not know about this. So let me talk about Amazon. Shamazon, as I call it. I used to work for Amazon about 5 or 6 years ago now, when I first moved to the South. Worked for Shamazon in Columbia, South Carolina, right? And it was a mostly black group. They hired, I made decent money. I'm not gonna knock the money. I was happy to make it. I was happy to have a job. But so they have this thing called rate. You have to make rate in an Amazon facility. If you go under that rate, you will be fired. You get like 1 or 2 times after your first week, and then you'll be fired. You have to make rate. And they don't care if you're pregnant. They don't care what your situation is. They don't care if you're what it is. You have to make rate. There's mandatory overtime. There's terrible working conditions. It's you running along this huge, massive facility, trying to find the right thing in all these different bins. And yeah, it's a quota. It's a quota basically. You have to make rate. If you don't, it depends on what your role is, whether you're picking or packing, all these different roles they have, but you have to do it at a certain rate. So I would pick, meaning I would go to the scanner tells you to go to a specific bin. You have to get the specific item for that bin and put it in your tote. And then once you fill up your tote, you send it along the conveyor line. It goes up there to be actually packed into boxes. So some of these items, you got to go look for this little small pack of trading cards and this box full of dildos. And I'm not joking. So send it your cousins and find it. And you better find enough of them in a certain amount of time and in an hour. If you don't, or, whatever other items they have to have you find, if you don't, you get fired. And so they have these very, very strict thing. And they literally have an intentional turnover. There are people who are only working as temps 3 or 4 times a year for Amazon, and they go through the whole process, and after 3 or 4 months they get fired. They use people disposably. Is my point. They use people as if humans aren't people. They use people, and Pearhead's right, because Louis Anderson was a part of the cast, but mostly black cast, mostly black cast, and then Will Be Robert. Yeah, it was mostly black cast. And you know what? You can make the argument as far as Amazon. Hey, you have the right to do what you want. This is a standard. Again, I was happy to just make the money, but it wasn't. They weren't paying top dollar. They were paying medium to low dollar. Decent little money. A little bit better for South Carolina than it may be for other places. But 12 some odd dollars an hour. And if you it was a lot of overtime, so that made it okay. But like if you screwed up, you get fired. And they fired people in droves. They fired people by the hundreds, hired people by the hundreds. It was just a massive people. They used the turnover to their advantage, and they didn't give a damn. They didn't give a damn. Yeah, and working that job is not the end of the world if it's a stepping stone to better. But my point is, Amazon did not give a fuck about anything but you getting enough items in their thing. They didn't care about, and you may, again, there's something to be said about that. But for them to now be so equitable is disingenuous. If you're going to fire a pregnant lady for not picking enough dildos in an hour, a black pregnant lady, and then go around and talk about how equitable your filming department is, it's fucking disingenuous. It's disingenuous. Now, it's a warehouse. There's, like you said, there's nothing wrong with working that type of job as a stepping stone to something better. And then, ironically, it is a meritocratic way of handling things. You don't pick this rate. We don't give a fuck your gender or anything. You got to go. You don't do this at a rate. You got to go. And they're going the opposite direction. But I just wanted to point out the disingenuousness. Again, I was happy to get the job. I was happy to have a job. Happy to have a job. It was a stepping stone, not necessarily in that field, but it kept me afloat long enough to get a better job. Kelly Child. Remember when Amazon was an online big bookstore? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah. Do you remember when you used to get good free shipping and shit for free without Prime? Pepperidge Farm remembers that too. Before you needed Prime to get good shipping and free shipping and fast shipping. So yeah, but that's just Amazon. I think they're hypocritical. Just a big spin for big companies. They don't give a fuck about equity. Absolutely, that's the main point I'm trying to make. That point. So we talked about racial hiring. So there's been a little bit of backlash on Wakanda Forever actor Tenoch Huerta, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing that. I'm not trying to give him the Spanish word today, but over social media history and accused ties to Spanish terrorists. So yeah, StreamYard, leave me alone. Last week, a rumor shared by the Illuminati hinted that not only would Namor be coming to the MCU in the upcoming Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I expect to be a disaster. I could be wrong because there's so much normie love for the MCU, and this was a normie bait movie, and they might get another payday out of it. We'll see. But the Marvel's first mutant will be portrayed by someone relatively unknown to comic book audiences, Tenoch Huerta. And sorry if I'm mispronouncing the brother's name. Please correct me in the chat. Though he's a star Netflix show Narcos Mexico, and is set to appear in a new movie, The Forever Purge. The Purge is another racist ass movie. Guys ever see the first Purge? That's the most racist movie I ever saw in my life. It might as well have been a fucking Birth of a Nation. It was so fucking racist. Personally, I wasn't sure about the casting. He certainly doesn't look the part anymore, at least physically, which is odd considering how Marvel tends to make their stars look the part of the hero, as evidenced by Paul Rudd and Chris Pratt's respective transformations into Ant-Man and Star-Lord, which he might still, because I mean he's just been cast, so you give him time to hit the gear. Wait a second, what's going on with Namor's abs? Is this like a thing where he has like? I'm not a Namor expert, which is neither is no one. What's going on with his abs? Really weird. However, the same willingness cannot be found among some MCU fans, as the rumor of Huerta being cast as the Atlantean Prince sparked outrage amongst groups of social media critics who wanted to see him removed from the film since it was first announced for a villainous role in a Black Panther sequel last November. Epic Stream documented a number of Twitter users voicing their disgust as the Narcos actor is being rumored for the sub-mariner character. So apparently he's homophobic, racist, and misogynist. How how do you manage to offend everyone? Oh, brother, with a little against Travis Scott. I mean, never mind the man casted Namor is homophobic and a horrible person. The fun is over. Okay. But we're not Twitter users. We don't even know what they're saying. And again, homophobic and racist by Twitter can mean you disagree with me. So we'll see. Heard rumors that T9 Quarter is going to be playing Namor. Least Marvel could do is choose someone that isn't homophobic, victim blaming, and racist. Please do better, Marvel. Ha. See what they did there. Lack of evidence. See the social media before, whenever waving folks rush to call someone out, there's usually a lack of receipts to justify fan outrage. I agree with that, Bounty. In Horton's case, it all it took was one tweet that was too ambiguous to get him labeled one way or another. And this is ironic. This is kind of a get what you deserve situation. And a happy Father's Day, Vezerel. Just see you show up in the chat. Appreciate it. Because he was actually tweeting something ironic. And so this is a translation of what he tweeted around Christmas time 2018. He said, Merry Christmas to everyone except the poor, the immigrants, I'm not going to say everything else, liberals, and generous people. And if you don't understand that's a joke, it's not for you either. He was trying to be a mock version of what he thought a conservative was. So he was actually a liberal. This was a joke. This is sarcasm. All these conservatives are against all this stuff. And it's not for you. And this was the idea behind this joke. But it backfired because Twitter is filled with idiots. So they couldn't even get his irony. So what do you do when you try to virtue signal to the left and it backfires in your face? What do you get? You get what you fucking deserve. Okay, hopefully that didn't echo. I didn't mean for it to echo. It may have. So I apologize if it did. So yeah, shout out to Horta for getting what he fucking deserves. He had that tweet, and you guys can read it again. And this is what it says in Espanol. So for any of the Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters, could mock translate it to make sure that's correct. But basically, it translated to something that requires some subtlety, and it was ironically enough a leftist-oriented joke, and I didn't get it. So this actually points that out. On his face, Horta's tweet seems bigoted. The savvy Spanish speakers have pointed out the post is sarcastic and actually condemns conservative hypocrisy, what they see to be conservative hypocrisy. Didn't matter to Shitter. The outrage against Horta casting was not limited to his festive tweet, though. A few more tweets brought to attention by Laby B. That's dope. Last November, when Horta was announced for Wakanda Forever, documents interesting tidbits. Not sure he was charging casting, but clearly that person didn't do homework before casting Tina Horta and Black Panther. Just a bit of research on his Twitter account is enough to show us why. Some examples. Okay. So why do some feminist assistants showing that they have it greater than all? That's the tweet. And so I think that's a little bit base. Why do feminist assistants showing that they have it greater than all? Because they're feminists, they can do what they want. They run the world right now. And the female fan chastised the actor. I started following you because I admire your work in Gueros, but I unfollow you because you attack women who fight for equality. Shame, whatever. If you can't see the irony, then good luck measuring your dick with the men. But I think his quote was, "Why do some feminists basically stud on people, showing them how powerful they are?" That's a legit thing to ask, but oh well. So after this interaction, dives into another aspects of social media, Horton's social media posts, such as violent, abusive language, blase splee. What is this? Okay, all of this is in Spanish. Let's get to the terrorist stuff. Because this is oh geez, let them be shots on their back and upside down, or let them be free for a half an hour in a town square filled with people. I don't know who he's talking about. Behalf of this rough translation stuff is also pretty makes it pretty difficult. I think the real point, because I'm getting through this and I'm like, this is a real rough to read. And I don't know what the hell's going on with this Moon Knight mask. I know it's not really Moon Knight, it's a terrorist guy. Let me see. It says, Levy renoted that Horta enjoyed friendship with Cadu Acaranda, a Spanish Marxist who, according to the Yucatan Times, has been accused of being a Basque terrorist, a Spanish organization with a long history of militant separationist fervor in the country. Not only that, the Yucatan Times further says that Acaranda is an active militant of the Batazo left and Izukal Haria, which belongs to the radical Basque nationalism for the ETA. Oh Lord, this is really, really political stuff. I'm not gonna act like I know anything about any of this shit. Apparently, he's a friend with somebody who's a terrorist. Curiously, Twitter considers Acaranda to be so significant, social media platform has given him a blue check mark. Now people are talking about why this. Remember, this is a Marxist group. Capitalism kills, but apparently they may as well. So how's Harkanda tie in with Huerta? According to social media, the narco star is ostensibly friendly with the separationists who described himself as a tropical terrorist, socialist, and abortionist. So this is why Twitter gave him a blue check mark, I imagine. As seen as one social media correspondent, Akanda warned Huerta, be careful. I have a photo with you, and it can go on the next opposition report. During the 2021 campaign. What the fuck? All this said, let's put this information in perspective. At face value, appears Huerta is friends with someone who's both one of the most notorious Marxists in Spain and alleged collaborator of a known terrorist organization. Not only that, but on social media, he presents himself as I don't know about violent vulgar. I think that's oversimplification. So why is he being cast in a Disney film or even being treated to upwards momentum in Hollywood? This is the real question. More importantly, for that matter, what's going on within Disney and Hollywood at large? They don't even mind a passing association with a militant and Marxist separationist organization. We kind of know the answer to that. I mean, look what they did to China, with China, until the money started flowing, which it may still be flowing. What do you think, make of Harter's casting, given this bevy information? Sorry if I misread it. This is the end of the article. And who wrote it? Because this was a really good article, even though I misread it. And there's a lot to take in. So Donald Edmonds, Dolified on YouTube. So thank you for that article. See what you guys are talking about. So it's not his terrorist connection, it's his homophobia that's the issue. Absolutely. Or him not loving all feminists. And hell, Nancy V Star says, happy Father's Day. Huerta is learning once you go woke, you can't joke. It's ETA. ETA is like the Basque IRA. I see. Okay, so that doesn't sound good. And yeah, people are fucking nuts. People are nuts. But Disney hired this guy, and there's backlash, but he's still there because he's clued in. You go to the right Eyes Wide Shut party, it doesn't matter. Remember, Ezra Miller choked a bitch on camera. What happened to Believe All Women, Violence Against Women? He's choking a bitch right now. He's still the fucking Flash. Explain that to me. But that's how it goes. You clicked it up with the right people. You know, the rules don't really apply to you. That's just the reality. I just realized you guys can see all the little programs I use the most of. Let me actually hide the toolbar real quick, if I can. Let's go. Toolbars. Sorry. Okay. There we go. All right, let's keep going. This is actually the main event article, so to speak. As this episode's called Down with the Ship. Anthony Mackie rejects shipper fantasies that Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes are romantically involved. Now, I'm going to be honest with the shippers. If you remember the pre-show promotional material, there were some shots and some images that and even some interactions that implied something more. That's just the way I saw it. I'm sure I'm not the only one thought. I mean, there were jokes about it. Like, what are they gay for each other? Apparently, a lot of people thought that, and I don't think that was by accident. I think Marvel knew what they were doing. The shipper community is one of the few SJW communities. Not that there's only SJW, because there's a lot of weirdos in the shipper, but they tend to be leftist, and they tend to actually spend money. If you don't believe me, remember Twilight. That was all based upon shipping. He choked a white woman, so he got a pass. White women are the all-powerful kings and gods of this whole movement. So I don't think that gives him a pass. But Glenn, you're right. You're right. So let's get into this. ETA, yeah, that's why I think I want to see ETA, estimated time of arrival. Why are people trying to make Marxism sound inclusive? Karl Marx was a blatant racist and wanted segregation of his people. I don't know if you noticed this, Vezarel. We've been talking about it earlier. Cultural Marxism is extremely segregationist in its nature. So I can definitely, because inclusion is not inclusion. Inclusion actually means separationist or segregationist for what is actually being done now. So that's why that link is there, because it's disingenuous at best and outright lie at most. And Morgan Holloway is back from attending, as she called her fur baby. Shout out to the pets. Shout out to the it's Father's Day. Shout out to the pet fathers as well. All right, let's talk about this shipping. It's pronounced ETA. Sheesh, I'm lost. But Marxist separationist terrorist aside, let's talk about Disney. Anthony Mackie rejects the shipper fallacies that Sam Wilson, and Bucky Barnes were romantically involved, which again, I think there was some implication with some of the promotional material. The Falcon and Winter Soldier star Anthony Mackie rejected shipper fantasies that Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes were somehow romantically involved. In an interview with Variety discussing recent Disney Plus series, Mackie specifically addressed shipper fantasies who imagine Bucky and Sam are involved. These fantasies can be seen on Twitter. As an example, one user from a tweet from Disney responded, then make look at this, because they, you know what? You live by the woke, you die by the woke. They sent this little woke inclusion stuff. So I guess now we know that all of our favorite Disney characters are in one big gay gangbang, but that's dope. Then they said, well, then make Bucky and Sam gay cowards. Mackie addressed the shippers, stating, so many things are twisted and convoluted. There's so many things that people latch on to with their own device to make themselves relevant and rational. The idea of two guys being friendly and loving each other in 2021 is problematic because of the exploitation of homosexuality. He is right. It's pride. I got a lot of little apps has a little pride logo now because it's Pride Month. It used to be guys can be friends and we can hang out and it was cool. You would always meet some of your friends at the bar, and you know you can't do that anymore because something is pure and as beautiful as homosexuality. This is him trying to play both sides, but I get what he's saying. But homosexuality has been exploited by people. I'm not trying to say it's not pure and beautiful, but I mean, humans are humans, whatever. Are being exploited by people who try to rationalize themselves. He went on to state, so something that's always been important to me is showing a sensitive masculine figure. There's nothing more masculine than a superhero flying around and beating people up, but there's nothing more sensitive than having emotional conversations and a kindred spirit friendship with someone that you care about and love. This is just a picture right. He says Sam and Steve had a relationship where they admire, appreciate, and loved each other. Bucky and Sam have a relationship where they learn to accept, appreciate, and love each other. You call it a bromance, but it's usually two guys who have each other's backs, Mackie included. See, Mackie wants to be based, but he's not a gangster. His real name is Clarence. 8 Mile reference. He wants to be based. If you guys saw Friday Night Tights, there's a clip of him on the Wendy Williams show talking about gender roles. There's an old clip of him talking about he didn't like the segregationist thoughts of a black director has to work with a black cast and a black crew has to work with a black movie and all this stuff. He doesn't like that stuff. A few years ago he was talking down to it, but now he's in this Hollywood. He's a black man. Remember, all the smart white people decide how black men think. They don't get to decide how they think on their own. It's only smart white women who look like this. I'm only joking because it's sad, but they do tend to have this look. Only white women, like I forgot the dumb bitch's name. Stacy Smith, I think, Catherine something, Piper. Those are the white women who decide how black men think. So you don't have your own autonomy. So you wanting basic logic of men being able to be men and like each other without having to be gay is gone, because one, everything is sexualized. Nothing's more important than who people fuck, which is why the STD rate is sky high and there's no fucking marriage or happy relationships anymore, for the most part. But shout out to the exceptions. I wish you guys the best. You guys are doing the Lord's work. But in any event, why can't there be friends that are not sexualized? Why do characters have to be shipped? And yes, I do think Disney tried to throw the shipping community a bone. They're aware of what the fuck is going on with shippers. They know about the Raylos. And I think they tried to pander to them without explicitly doing so. I definitely think that marketing includes some stuff and some shots that look like they were dating. It looked like they were in couples therapy. Right? So like this is kind of a mess. And we see people rumoring about the Tila situation as far as the He-Man, that there's some shipping there. Oh man. What you guys are talking about? Pride Month? Are Lions that popular? No, the Lions suck. They always suck, and they're going to lose again this year, but I still love them. Oh, you're talking about actual Lions. Thought you're talking about the Detroit Lions. Vig, have you heard the Canadian government decided a month ain't enough, so they have Pride season? I'm not joking. Man, the Canadian government is a very socialist, evil place. He's got to represent, bro. He does. I've been around LGBTQ or LGBT my whole life. I've never once seen a single person even like Pride Month. These whole Hollywood woke tars only carry themselves in Hollywood. Same with Juneteenth. I knew one person who knew about it. They used to celebrate it in Buffalo, and I had some friends from Buffalo, and they talked about it. And that was it. I didn't know about Juneteenth. And I was like 17. And then I didn't hear about it again for, till last year. Fucking Juneteenth. I've never knew a black person to celebrate Kwanzaa. I've never met that person, but it's just something they toss out there. So this is what do you get when you constantly pander to shippers and you create the culture where everybody has to be LGBTQ and represented for shit?
Get what you fucking deserve.
And that's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. And yes, the Lions have indeed sucked forever, says the House of Holloway. They have sucked forever. And this sucks because there's no more masculine friendship. Men are not the men are not allowed to be friends. Men are not allowed to be men. They're not allowed to be masculine. They're not allowed to be fathers. They just have to build shit and go away. Prince took heat for not supporting same-sex marriage. Talent outweighs your personal view or used to. Bro, you're right, bro. Those Twilight stands are the same. Patterson had to break up with the singer because of the constant harassment. Yeah, but those are the audience they want. That's the audience they want. They want those crazy shippers. And listen, you used to be allowed to have views that people may not agree with, and you're not anymore. You're not anymore. And I love Prince, right? And unfortunately, I don't think he just fentanyled himself. I think he was given that. That's neither here nor there. But it's like, okay, if you disagree with him, just disagree with him. And if it impacts you to the point where you don't want to listen to his music, that's fine. But nowadays, artists will be canceled for that. We know that. There was backlash over Anthony Mackie for this. And he was really trying to, he was probably speaking to more actual LGBT people or homosexual people that they were being exploited. And I'm sure many of them are aware of it, but it's not the right thing to say in Hollywood. We're not exploiting people. Yes, you are. You guys are demons. You're evil and you're fucking demons. And you're disinfucking-genuous. Speaking of disingenuine, speaking of getting what you fucking deserve, as I'll probably use that drop again, let's talk about Lin-Manuel Miranda. Talk about In the Heights, a movie I did not see. Let's talk about first. I kind of want to retouch. I talked about it earlier last week. It's kind of how I got R&B. Was on a Midnight Edge After Dark stream with Latino Slant, and R&B showed up, and a bunch of other people showed up. Shout out to everyone who was on that stream, and we were talking about Selena and how they were underpaid. And hail Scott Jennings of Dick's Division. Shout out to the whole Dick's Division. They basically were not paying everyone like they were paying other Netflix. Netflix was not paying people the same way. And this kind of got brought up. We didn't really get into In the Heights and the controversy. So I'm not sure if they have a similar controversy as far as payment, but they do have a controversy as far as colorism. And for those who are not aware of the colorism thing, is so as you guys know, Black people, Latino people, they're different shades. And so I guess I'd be considered a light-skinned black guy. I could get kind of dark with the sun, but light-skinned guy. And so I'm not saying that there isn't something to this. Like there hasn't been issues with different shades sometimes in the past, but I mean, I feel like it's definitely been ratcheted up the past couple years. Definitely ratcheted up the past couple years. I know it's even before the wokeness with the team light skin, team dark skin. I mean, what the fuck? And so it has become a thing. I'm not even gonna deny, at least in the black community and apparently in the Latino community, because that's the nature of this backlash. Is basically there are not enough dark skinned Latinos, especially because they're supposed to be Dominican, and in this film, and so or in the play. So I'm going to break down what CNET thinks is the controversy, and then see what Bill Maher said on it. Because now that his orange enemy's gone, he just becomes him. He just says everything that people who were on the conservative side or the free thinking side have been saying all year, and now he gets to say it because the orange man is gone. You've probably noticed that. Oh my God, do you believe this virus may have actually come from? Yeah. Do you believe this thing? This 8 thing that starts with an H might actually help people. Yeah, we do. We do believe it. We've believed it for over a year, you assholes. But anyways, the film adaptation of the musical has drawn criticism for not featuring Afro-Latino performers in prominent roles. In the Heights, the highly anticipated film adaptation of Lin-Manuel Miranda's hit musical is stirring up strong reactions since opening in theaters and in HBO Max last week. The movie takes place in New York's Washington Heights neighborhood it stars Anthony Ramos as Yusnavi, a bodega owner dreaming and singing about a better life. CNET reviewer Steph Panesco, Panecasio, calls the film a high energy love letter to the Latino community, but some viewers have expressed dismay that In the Heights falls short when it comes to Afro-Latino representation. Members of the community make up a significant portion of the real Washington Heights, but instead of having lead roles in the film, darker skinned Afro-Latino performers have background and dance roles. I see. Y'all don't understand this isn't about diversity, one tweet read. We are asking why a film about Dominicans in the Heights doesn't look like anything like Dominicans or the Heights. Dominicans are mostly black. The Heights is a mostly black Dominican neighborhood. Another tweets, which garnered the gender neutral term Latinx. I laughed at this. Dark-skinned Afro Latinx actors are put in the boxes where they can't even audition for Latinx roles. Latinx isn't a thing. Stop it. In a June 9th article, Felice Leon publication, The Root, so evil ass organization. The Root is a very evil publication, by the way, if you guys ever heard of it. And you guys are dipping for Culture Casino. Yeah, his Culture Review is starting. So shout out to that. And thank you for everyone there. Oh, and Bruce Lombardo can't stay long. Daughter's mom's going to meet up with me. We'll have a day. Cool. And the movie Bond made like $12 million. Okay. This is really, no, we got one more article before this. So we're going to do this article, do another one. And then I may end up on a Culture Casino channel in a minute. Okay. So here's how everyone from critics to the film's creators have responded to the controversy. What have people said about the Afro-Latino representation in the film? Following critical acclaim for In the Heights and earned a Metacritic score of 84, because Metacritic is still reliable. Are you kidding me? Some viewers were quick to express their disappointment at the lack of Black Latino representation. Enjoyed the movie, loved the musical. Author Roxanne Gay, that's her name, not being offensive. Makes no sense to erase the Afro-Latinx community. Latinx is not a thing. Who should have been broadly represented in lead and secondary roles. It's egregious and it cancels our enjoyment. Jesus. Many people acknowledge the importance of the film, showcasing the diversity of Latino communities and celebrating Latino culture in such a vibrant way. USA Today's reviewer lauded it for capturing the bustling and changing multicultural Washington Heights neighborhood of Manhattan with a dazzling array of song and dance styles. So basically, Latin people are dancing for us, and we like it. I guess that's progress. Still, some people struggle to contend with the absence of Afro-Latin people in the lead roles. No movie can be everything to all people, and a movie like In the Heights carries a perhaps unfair burden in certain aspects. Another tweet reads, but I do think it's fair to question how colorism, unconscious or no, may have played a role behind the scenes. So let's get to what Lin-Manuel Miranda himself said. There's a lot. We can go all day without this crap. And thank you for anyone who's watching this and maybe culture while you're watching culture review. And yeah, Latinx is a modern day slur. Don't let them say anything. Otherwise, only 12 mil. That's still so much money. Not when it costs a lot of money to spend. Can we have white X ascension dildo? Glenn says, in the height, I was going to skip In the Heights, but now I'm still going to skip it. And is it going to be YXT or White X? White XXX? I'm not on that part of the pub. Are you being passed at your job because you can't roll your R's? Add 3 tablets of Latinx to your morning cocktail and 6 to your wine evenings, and you'll be a part of the minority. I talk about Blacknex because, they talk about Black Afro Latino X or Latinx or Black Latinx, Bladnex. That sounds like something. Oh, do you have a bladder infection? Take Bladnex to clear up your bladder infection. All right. Miranda responded to the criticism on Monday, posting an apology to Twitter, which is the worst thing to do. But I'm seeing the discussion around Afro-Latino representation in our film this weekend. And it's clear that many in our dark-skinned Latino community don't feel sufficiently represented within it, particularly among the lead roles. And trying to put a mosaic of the community, we fell short. I'm truly sorry. This is insane. In an interview with The Root, John M. Chu, who directed the Heights adaptation, is real crazy. Rich Age, had an Asian man direct a role about Latin film. That's not the right type of representation. Wrong representation. He responded to a question of lack of Black Latino representation in the Heights by saying there was something we talked about and I needed to be educated. In the end, when we were looking at the cast, we tried to get the people best for those roles. Sounds capitalist. That's not equitable. You don't get people who are best at the roles. You get the people who fit the vision that you come up with, like a good Marxist. You were trying to be meritocratic. You're not allowed to do that, sir. And you weren't even the right race for it yourself, don't you know? Wrong minority. Rita Moreno, I don't really care about that. So made $20 million altogether so far. I'm not sure how much it costs. But what's interesting is Bill Maher's take. So what he said is stand up to these bullies. He shouldn't have apologized. Again, Lin-Manuel Miranda apologized. According to Bill Maher, he shouldn't have. And I actually disagree. And I'll tell you why in a second. Bill Maher has some advice for Lin-Manuel Miranda on Friday. Stop the apologizing. Maher said about Miranda's reaction to the criticism that his film In the Heights is not. They got the wrong race. It was darkly skinned Dominicans, not Puerto Ricans. But again, if Deadline, all Latin is just one, all non-white are just one, so they don't know the difference. Anyways, does not depict more darkly colored. Isn't that a great way of referring to humans? Jesus, we've gotten so much more racist. All right. You're the guy who made the founding fathers Black and Hispanic. I don't think you have to apologize to Twitter. Oh, but you do. Because you're the guy who made the founding fathers Black and Hispanic. You're the one who started this mess. Miranda, the film's wonderkind, composer, lyricist, producer, co-scribe, star, apologized in a social media post earlier this week for the lack of Afro-Latinx, which is not a thing, representation in the musical. The committee that makes note of everyone's skin tone took note of it. Do I think that he really should apologize? I don't. Invade the comedian, air quotes comedian, because he has never really been a comedian. I think he just wants to avoid the news cycle, and I don't blame him. This is why people hate Democrats. Oh, now it's cool to hate Democrats, asshole. Jesus, fuck you, Bill Maher. I really don't like this guy. A lot of people are celebrating his, so to speak, face turn, but it's just a piece of shit turn. It's just, it's politically convenient, so now I can say these things. He's a shithead to me. You're cringy, Mar. I'm going to get back to the article. I mean, he's a Latino making a Latino movie with a Latino cast. Not good enough. Nothing is ever good enough for these people. They're like children. We don't raise our children right. It's reflected in the media. No one ever tells their children, shut the fuck up, sit down, listen to your elders, stop. Bitch, well, Bill Maher doesn't have any kids, so he, no love for him on Father's Day. all the smortions he's caused. No disrespect, because it's life. But Mar finished with, people are going to have to stand up to these bullies. That's what it is. Bullying, I can make you crawl like a dog, and I enjoy it. So here's why I disagree. I don't disagree that people need to stand up with the bullies, to these bullies. We obviously know that. And I also don't think apologizing is the best way to do things. But this is the operative sentence. Where is it? You're the guy who made the founding fathers Black and Hispanic. This is why he had to apologize. These are his fans. This is the market he went for. This is the group. We talk about respect your fans, right? Well, these are his fans. These are the group of people that he was going for with Hamilton and with his content. He was going to these people. He knew the rules. Do as the mob wills. He knew the rules. He was cool taking all that Hamilton money. Well, hey, it comes back around, motherfucker. So I agree in principle with what this waffle Bill Maher is talking about. But for the guy who actually did it, he's got to play the fucking game. This is the game he played. And oh man, Tupac Shakur is back from the dead. Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California, dreaming. Hell, Tupac. Hell, Wookiee Lives Matter with a nerf herder. With yet a new avatar. Hell, Wookiee. Only ones obsessed with skin color are the races. Agreed. Yes, I agree. That's what I've been saying. The new clan hood is a gender studies degree. Except Tupac. You'll be able to swear caliente in 6 languages as the Latinx burns on the way out. Oh boy. If there were no undocumented immigrants on set, that's another strike against them. You're not wrong, Glenzer. That was a rule. Oh man, Wookiee Lives Matter saying he was the gunman. He said Pac is dead. I made damn sure of it. Oh shit. Guess Wookiee. We've been wondering all this time. Is Wookiee Lives Matter? You killed Tupac. Fuck you, guy. Fuck you. I'm just joking. That's right. Apologize. That's right. All you white passing and Latinx people, you need to apologize for that. White supremacy is make perfect sense. And I am mad. See, Pac gets it. Fuck getting educated. Let's do like Mac Dre and get stupid. Seriously, I hate this lecturing. Shout out to Mac Dre. Subsentient and Princess Leia Morgana. I see that. I like that. Or Lee Morgana. Been to the Dominican DR. Also, Essential Dildo's been out in the DR. I know a lot of people like the Dominican Republic. Great people, had a blast. Let's go for hyphy. You remember when hyphy was the shit? Bill Liptar Maher or Mar, and Bill Maher like going to the island a lot. Yeah, he's that type of guy. It's like doing cartwheels and backflips and gainers just to keep up with the rhetoric in one paragraph. Right? Kid Love Productions, aka Bill Maher's company. Oh boy. Yeah, the middle gymnastics. And yeah, Vezeril is similar to me. I hate when people act like stands for the Democrats. Now it's inconvenient for them. It's bullshit. Exactly. Oh man, you got Biggie too. Damn you, Wookiee. Now we got rappers in dresses because of you. Wookiee is Shug on his burner chatting for himself. Wouldn't that be great? No, Shug didn't kill him. It was the CIA. Let's be honest. Those are both government hits. I mean, it's just real. But again, I disagree with Mr. Island. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda made this bed. He does indeed have to sleep in it. He's the one who created his brand on this. This was all your idea. So to use this drop for the last time for maybe this episode. No, we got one more time to use it with the next article. What do you get when you build your brand on wokeness and on race swaps, and people say, the wokies finally come after you?
Get what you fucking deserve.
Arthur Flecken might be a co-producer for this show. A lot of people getting what the fuck they deserve. Wookiee is taking them out. But Tupac challenging Heavy D, saying he has nothing but love for you. So that's a good way of dealing with someone who purports to have murdered you. Speaking of murder, oh boy, How about this? Portland commissioner. So I'm not sure if you guys heard this story, but Portland, the riot squad has resigned. The entire riot squad resigned. And the Portland police commissioner talks shit. Oh, the good old boy network is getting ended, but she wanted the police called on the Lyft driver. Some of you guys maybe remember that from November. We'll get into the article. The good Jesus, okay, Bitcoin, we get it. Bitcoin is actually crashing right now. I mean, it's a little bit better, but come on. The good old boy network is crumbling. Controversial Portland commissioner who wants to defund the police. Can I exit out of this? Jesus Christ, there's no way out of this. I'm sorry, guys. See this big Bitcoin thing. Wants to defund the police. Issues glowing statement after entire city's riot police resigned, but fails to mention the time she was branded hypocrite for calling cops on Lyft driver. Portland Police Commissioner Joanne Hardesty called for Rapid's response team to be formally disbanded after all members resigned in protest. Hardesty branded the unit a rogue paramilitary organization and said resignations are a sign the good old boy network is crumbling because she's trying to create her own good old boy network. That's all this is about. Hardesty has been a vocal proponent of budget cuts, caused backlash last year after calling 911 on her Lyft driver, and it was not for anything legitimate. Budworth was charged with assault relating to a August 18th, 2020 incident in which he allegedly stuck a photographer, Terry Jacobs, with a baton. Police union said the officers were set upon 200 protesters, and Budworth accidentally hit Jacobs in the head. She was not charged with any crime, was awarded with a $50,000 settlement by the city of Portland over the incident. And it may have been a legitimate incident where the police was wrong. I don't know. We are not a Back to Blue channel, by the way. We're not a Back to Blue channel, but we are not a Defund the Police channel. We're a balanced channel. You know, I don't think the police should be blindly celebrated, because especially if you're a freedom guy and a Second Amendment guy and you believe in your freedoms being protected, who are the people that are going to take them away from you? But at the same time, we also want to commend the Lord Thoughts of this world, who is a Ontario-based Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer. And if you guys remember, Ontario has some very draconian laws that the police decided not to enforce. And based upon those cops saying, nope, we're not going to go this far, the laws were changed. So you also got to give the good and the bad. And that's where I am. Balance. You take the good, you take the bad, and you criticize there without. Because again, I don't know that this incident that caused all this didn't have some legitimacy, because apparently there was an accidental striking, and it cost $50,000 for the police department. But let's get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on. A Portland commissioner who has led efforts to defund the police. We see how successful that has been across the country. Despite calling the cops on a Lyft driver last year, has branded the Oregon City's 50-person riot squad that resigned in protest a rogue paramilitary organization, called for the team to be formally disbanded. City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty gloated in a statement on Thursday that the resignations are a sign that the good old boy network is crumbling, and we can either be a part of the change or a part of the status quo. Well, being a part of the change is the new status quo. And the change is just to evil, because it's just destroying the police department. And again, Portland, I don't know if you know this, is the whitest major city in America. There's no city with a population over 500,000 that has a higher percentage of white people. So there's that. But of course, racism. And ironically, the commissioner is black if they show her. The arc of the justice is bending quickly, and it's imperative that the Portland City Council land on the hashtag right side of history. All of the members of the Portland Police Department's rapid response team, who are tasked with crowd control amidst the city ongoing. And remember, they were on fire for over, at least I know people in Portland said it wasn't the whole city. It was a few blocks, which is fair. As somebody who comes from Detroit knows that city gets a bad rap. It's fair to keep it in context. But there were protests pretty much the whole summer, continuously in Portland. And of course, like you mentioned, the riot squad abruptly quit in solidarity with a colleague who was indicted on criminal charges for they were indicted. I'm sorry, I must have misread it earlier, for allegedly striking a photographer who was dubbed a protester. And here's This is the. I'm not gonna say anything about this sister. I'm gonna just leave. I know there may be comments about this sister, but that's the Portland Police Commissioner. Hardesty, who proposed doing away with the crowd control unit last fall, said around the same time she was calling the police on a Lyft driver because she is the law. She am the law. Her statement and mass resignations are another example of a rogue paramilitary organization that's unaccountable to the elected officials and residents of Portland. She continued earlier this week, for the first time in Portland's history, an officer from a PPB rapid response team was charged with a misdemeanor for assaulting a photojournalist. So this is just a photo of it. Ironically, we see some PPB engaging in an act they showed so much disdain for last summer by staging their own protest. No, they were there to make sure people didn't die, you dumb bitch. Like, they may have done fucked up things in that process. I saw Portland officers opening people's eyes to spray fucking mace in them. I have seen, that some of those police officers did cross the fucking line. They may have fucking crossed the line, but the whole point was that people were getting their shit burned down. Federal buildings they were attempting to bomb them and burn them down, and your criminal justice system was letting this mostly white group of people who were terrorizing all of these cities, by the way, Mrs. Equity, letting them get out with whatever they did, letting them burn shit down, go to jail for a day, if that, and then get out. And so therefore these police were tasked of basically being Batman, dealing with the Riddler every fucking week, dealing with the same assholes burning shit down. And a lot of them did take liberties. Maybe that happened in this case, but for fuck's sake, what we got last year was not a fucking protest. It was a Marxist revolution attempt. So how are they above the law by quitting? If you want to defund the police, why are you upset that they quit? Miss Hardesty. She argued these resignations present an opportunity to show what crowd control looks like without a specialized unit. Please do this. The only way this is unfortunate for the people who live in these cities, who are stuck in these cities, because we know there are people in all these cities, all these Marxist hellholes, where you're talking about California, Portland, Seattle, who would love to leave, who are just like, I'm stuck here. And there's obviously people who voted it in and wants this craziness, but there are people who don't, and they're stuck in there, and I feel bad for them because it's just going to get worse. Instead of scrambling to patch up the status quo, I hope Mayor Wheeler, who should be recalled, and my council colleagues will see the opportunity I see in front of us to fundamentally rethink community safety for all, including how we respond to protests in the future. Hardesty wrote that clearly the model, the policing we have doesn't work. Hardesty sparked widespread backlash last fall when, amid her efforts to defund the police, she called 911 to report that a ride-share driver had dropped her off at the gas station, and she claimed it was closed tonight. Basically, she was such a bitch to her Uber driver, her Lyft driver. He said, "Get the fuck out," and she called to call the police on the Lyft driver. Hardesty was returning from a casino. She was out, gambling, which, free country, whatever. Got into an argument with her Lyft driver over open windows in the car. The driver, Richmond Frost, refused to close the windows due to the coof. Well, you get what you fucking deserve on that. He didn't want the coof. So he canceled the ride and told Hardesty to get out at a gas station. So, you want to talk about somebody who really gets what you deserve. You guys are on the side that push all this coof scary. He was scared of the coof. He wanted his windows down. She didn't. And so she called 911 on him. Hardesty claimed that the Chevron gas station was closed, but dispatch records said it was still open when she called 911, so she could have got a different Uber driver there. After being branded a hypocrite, Hardesty published an open letter to address the incident, where she continued to insist the gas station was closed and that a well-known black woman has been receiving death threats. Oh my God. I have to hide behind this thing. I wanted to defund the police, but I'm a black woman, therefore above the law. She talks about people being above the law. These civil servants, man. That evening, I was faced with several threats. A Lyft driver threatened to call 911 on me, yet you called 911 on him. The potential of being stranded alone late at night by the side of the highway at a closed gas station, she wrote. The possible outcomes of both those situations are not terrifying but deadly. So wait. Let's slow down. I know logic is not a big thing for these people, but wait. Why was being at a gas station at night deadly? And who do you call? Who are you going to call? Ain't the Ghostbusters. You're going to call the police, right? So if you're saying that inherently being a woman in a dark area in the middle of the night at a random gas station is dangerous, which I agree. In a major city, Portland, I agree. It is. And your only recourse is to call police. Why do you want to defund them? Am I lost? Am I asking something silly? Am I doing something off the page?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I really do. I really do. Because it's as if when needed, she understands how important police are. But when convenient, she gets rid of them. All right. She's the head of the Portland Emergency Dispatch Bureau, who previously stated that most 911 calls are unnecessary. So was yours, you dumb bitch. You should have just called Lyft. And was one of the city's main advocates for an $18 million cut of the Portland Police Department. So this is a classic rules for me and not for thee. This is just okay. We can go on and on. Jesus, we're not going through all this shit. This is all the shit that ails Portland. It's a lot of shit. I think you guys get the premise of what's going on, man. You have a classic champagne socialist. Rules for me, but not for thee. And, you know, police are evil. A lot of calls are unnecessary unless it's my call. Just complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. And, yeah, people are laughing about Wookiee being a murderess. And, yeah, since you did see this about the riot squad, let's see what else you guys are talking about. Visit Rail says instead of escape from New York, it's escape Portland. It's escape New York, too. Sounds like Miss Hardesty is a longtime investor in Bitcoin. Absolutely. Been hit by the police many times, never got 50 G's for it. Well, you're in the wrong country. Yeah, I'm not I've never been hit by the police. And yeah, held to that, there needs to be balance. You have to bring balance to the force. Defunded police officers will become private security for those who wanted defunding. Absolutely. That's the RoboCop way. A lot of this rioted, burnt down buildings will be sold for pennies on the dollar to the rich. And it already is being, by the way. Yeah, I'm not really for and against police, taking it on a case-by-case basis. That's what we do here on this channel. We're not pro-police. We're not anti-police. We're just probably lean a little anti-police because I'm a libertarian. They are the state. Hello there, Noble Iro. You look late, better late than never. I appreciate you being here. Still got a little bit to talk about before hopping on to Culture Casino's channel. We will be rating his channel in a little bit. And yeah, the protest in Portland lasted about a year. Oh, Glenzer. I didn't say anything about her. And yeah, everyone is noticing. Glenzer noticed. Noble showed up. Yeah, speaking the truth, I tried to. And yeah, she's absolutely retarded. And this sucks to see my great state. The state I was born in. I'm from Detroit, as I've said. I'm currently in the Carolinas. Michigan is becoming horribly socialist. Shipmer actually gave convicts compensation for the coup. That is evil shit. The way they are empowering criminals and giving money to criminals, and that's insane. And let out so many criminals and then try to put you in jail. This is real social engineering shit, real evil stuff. You know what really scared me back in my naughty days? Social workers. Yeah, show us the receipts. Absolutely, dildo, yeah. Whoever appeals to the law against his fellow man is either a fool or a coward. Whoever cannot take care of himself without the law is both. I agree with that. And hell, brightest day. Saying it ain't the Ghostbusters. Yeah, you ain't gonna call the Ghostbusters. Yeah, Wookie, that's a great statement. I'm not sure where that's from or if you made it up, but it's absolutely true. True that. Yeah, there are wannabe aristocrats. I wouldn't mind as much as they just gripped it and took advantage of their positions, but the fact they spill out victimhood, demand sympathy, and villainize everyone else just to walk away clean is sick Yeah, you mean grifted. They're more than grifters. They're really sick. They're demonic, evil human beings. Evil human beings. As I keep seeing the what you call it. I want to just make sure I didn't miss any super chats, which are always appreciated, never obligated. You guys give me a lot of support. Doesn't look like I have. Let's make sure the D Live doesn't look like I missed anyone there. So we are we're pretty clean. We're pretty clean. We're going to get into the positive story of the day. We always end with a positive story here, and it will actually come from the same state we just were talking about. It's the basic of Omerta. I'm not sure what Omerta is. Please smart me up. Yeah, demon rats. Used to be demon rats and Thuglicans, but now they're the Recucklicans. They're not even thugs anymore. They're just cucks. All right. So let's talk about something else that happened in Oregon, but it's positive. There's a man missing, found alive after 17 days in the Oregon wilderness. You want to talk about someone who can protect himself? The 69-year-old man from Roseburg, Oregon, was found alive after spending 17 days in the wilderness in the Twin Lakes area. Harry Burleigh was reported missing the evening of May 7th by his wife Stacy after he failed to return home from a camping trip in the Tokatee area. Search and rescue crews came out from the area, began looking for Burleigh in the morning of March 8th. They found his vehicle near a lower trailhead that leads into Twin Lakes and determined the fisherman may have tried to walk to Twin Lakes to fish before heading home. His worried wife made signs and left food along the trails in hopes that he would find them. Harry stayed here and looked for food, cash, other sides. So they start putting shit in the trails, hoping they found them. On May 16th, they had a big break when the searchers found a tackle box and a makeshift shelter. They left them a note and a lighter and told them to make a fire and they would be back together tomorrow. It took the team another 6 hours to get out. Wow. A week later, May 23rd, rescuers searched a second makeshift shelter southwest of the original one. The search crews called out to Burleigh, who responded back. He was found to be walking and complaining of minor pain, but was in stable condition. So this guy lived in the fucking wilderness for almost 3 weeks. He's in his 60s, almost 70s. Holy shit. But he was found. Burleigh was evaluated in the hospital, reunited with his family that evening. This is the outcome we had all been looking for in this case. Douglas County Sheriff Sergeant Brad Odell. The sheriff office want to thank anyone who was involved with this mission. Odell said temperatures got down to the 20s and even snowed in that time because it's the Oregon wilderness. He told the searchers yesterday he kept doing this one day at a time, one step at a time, the love for his family and everything else. So that mindset, that winning mindset, played a big role. So we talk all this stuff about people whining and shit, whining about life, saying there's no such thing as a Omerta. Okay, I'm lost. Oh, that's the wife's valiant efforts. Yeah, good to see love. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to look up the Omerta. Yeah, whoa. And yeah, we all expect politicians to steal, which is why it should not be celebrated or lionized. So I'm not sure about the Omerta stuff, but this is fucking incredible. This is resilience, man. You know what? There's no equity in the wild. There's no church in the wild, so to speak. There's nothing to. I mean, I believe in the Most High, and I believe the Most High is with you. And I think it was with this guy for him to be 17 days in the wilderness just on his fishing skill, having to survive with makeshift shelters. That's a gangster motherfucker, man. Now it's gangsters Wookie popping all the rappers. But this is fucking crazy. And shout out to his wife, leaving signs, hoping that we find him. Shout out to him being this resilient to last that long in the wilderness. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely positive story, something to end positively on. All this stuff to take away meritocratic behavior, all this stuff to make society form. But when man is down and man is in his natural element, he can still survive. And that's a really cool kind of counterpoint to all the equity talk we've been talking this whole shit. Okay, so there's no La Cosa Nostra, I know. Tupac, Mary Shah's the ritual. Oh, I see. I have heard that. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. Okay, so now you guys are doing some La Cosa Nostra stuff. So okay. That's neither here nor there. I want to thank everybody for joining me on the 60th episode of the Vigilante Williamson Show. I really appreciate everybody being here. We will be going to Culture Casino's channel. I'll be a little bit late. I gotta take a little bit of a break in between, but we will be going to Culture Casino's channel to wrap up his Father Day coverage. I want to thank everybody for watching this channel. I want to thank everyone who helped me get to 500 subs, at least for now, because you know how YouTube is, and Wookie knows better than most that 500 subs doesn't stay 500 subs, and my sub count has moved down as well. But I'm still above 500 for now. So thank you all. Please make sure you're still subbed. If you aren't, please share, because people do watch these replays, and like and share the videos. Check out, I've got clips from the RMB interview up, and I'm going to be posting more than that throughout the week, and clips from even this stuff. I'm going to be posting a lot more clips, a lot more videos, a lot more content. So I want to thank everybody who joined. Jesus, Wookie, what do I do when I miss my favorite rapper? Reload and try again. Goodness gracious. So you're the one killing all these rappers, because they are dying at an incredible rate, man. Something like, was it, how many rappers died in 2020? It was like hundreds. And to be fair, a lot of these rappers are just, a lot of them are money laundering drug dealers, right? But a lot of them were dying of unknown causes. It's like, oh boy, maybe I shouldn't rap. Let me see. How many rappers died in 2020? How many bodies had you slain in 2020? 200 rappers died in 2020. 200 rappers died. That's insane. But all right, on that note, call it a good start. Jesus Christ, Wookie. That's pretty brutal. But on that bombshell, speaking of rapping, time to get into the music. Gotta hit the music. Hopefully you can hear the music. I want to thank everybody from being here. LOL, yeah, that's pretty cool. 200 people died. Take that Oregon lockdown. He got away from the forest shelter in place. yeah, 200 rappers died. That's insane. Farewell, House of Holloway. Salute to Cinch and Dildo. Now that I know what that is. You guys smarted me up as a boomer. Hell, Tupac Shakur. Hell, Wookie Lies Matter, even though he killed Tupac Shakur. And Tupac actually was a plant. I mean, he was, I'm sorry to break anyone's heart, he's an FBI plant in reality. Hell, Brightest Day. Hell, Visceral. He still make really good music, though. Hell, Visceral. Who else? A lot of people were here. Wes was here earlier. Noble Iro came here late, but I appreciate it. Please, if you get time to watch some of the playback, if you have time. Glenzer was also here, talking to stuff. Appreciate Glenzer. The Stream Elements bot, who has a lot of beef with Cinch and Dildo, was still here. I feel like I'm missing people. I know Wes was here. Who else did I miss? Oh man, Bruce Lombardo. How can I miss Bruce Lombardo and Killy Child? What's wrong with me? I'm something wrong with me. Now that Scott Jennings, also the Dix Division, was here, that may be it. That is as high as this will go as far as comments. So I want to thank everybody who watched this. Yes, it's time to raid the Culture Casino stream. We will be raiding it. I'll be there in a few minutes. Gotta walk the dog real quick. And I appreciate everybody who's joined me on this journey. We got 500 subs. We're going to push for 500 more. At some point, I got to do something special for the 500 subs. I'm not sure what. Suck at Stream Elements. No, Stream Elements keeps me paid because you guys have funded and supported the channel beyond my wildest dreams. So if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do so. Even if you're doing none of these things, thank you for watching and thank you for your time. Peace. And Wookie's just if you kill a lot of rappers, you can get a deal, Wookie, if that's what you're looking for. Because that's hot in the streets now. All right, all jokes aside, peace out. See you on Culture Casino channel in a few minutes. Peace.